100 kill count, boys, and we got the SERP Visage. That's our first Zora loot, and I was super excited about this, and you know, for the past day or two, I've had a blast using it, and then this Thursday morning, Jagex basically said, fuck off. So today an update happened that is basically going to completely rewrite the game plan for all Iron Men out there, and it doesn't really matter which kind of Iron Man, just any Iron Man. You guys know the New World map came out today. That's not what I'm talking about. This is what I want to look at right here, though, the balancing changes. So basically what just happened is Jagex said, hey guys, we need to look at some content that we think is a little bit overpowered, and we need to fix it without a poll. Now that's fine. I think they should be able to do that. Should be able to do unpolled changes from time to time when it has to do with the greater good of old school. But let's just look at this update and see how it really affects things. So Zora. We all know it's an overpowered piece of content that all Iron Men rely on as a crutch to basically build their accounts. All the best gear comes from this. This is one of the best ways to train an Iron Man. Everyone does a certain amount of kills. I think, for a while Iron Men did 10,000 kills to get all their supplies that they needed to max out. Hardcore Iron Mens were looking at about 3,000 to 4,000 kills. But this is just massive. So Jagex has decided to nerf Zora's average loot value by roughly 30%. Now obviously Iron Men aren't concerned about the monetary value of these drops, but the amount of supplies that are going to be coming in from Zora now have completely changed. So they've dropped the number of magic seeds, they've cut runite ore by 1/5. Mahogany planks are now mahogany logs, papaya seeds increased from 2 to 3, snap seeds from 2 to 1, Torstal seeds dropped from 2 to 1, raw sharks have been replaced by cooked manta rays, and the number's been dropped from 100 to 35. Torstals, the herbs, have been dropped from 20 to 10. Dwarfweeds, however, been increased from 20 to 30. That's kind of interesting. Toad flax have been increased from 20 to 25. Snapdragons dropped from 20 to 10. Magic logs have been replaced by U logs, and the number cut to 35 instead of 100. Dragon bones dropped from 30 to 12. Coal dropped from 300 to 200. Addy bars dropped from 25 to 20. And Cerebrews replaced by Bird's Nest. Actually, I'm kind of excited about that one. But anyways, so essentially Iron Men can no longer rely on Zora to max their accounts. They can use it as a supplement, sure. And if you want to go for a mutagen or a pet or something like that, that's fine. You're still going to get some supplies along the way, but it's not going to be nearly as lucrative as it used to be with this change. Now on top of that, Zora has been out since January of 2015, I think. So that's almost 2.5 years of stuff coming into the game at a really quick rate. And the big ways to nerf it in the past were dropping the amount of Zora teleports, which changed it a lot, obviously. When it first came out, there were 50 teleports dropped at one time, and then later on they dropped it to 20, and then later on they dropped it to 1. So that, affected the market of it quite a bit. But 2.5 years later, to allow stuff to come into the game that quick, especially by Iron Men, for that long, and then to cut it now, an Iron Man that starts today versus one that started when it was released, they're at completely different levels of the playing field now. It's going to be so much harder to max now. I mean, I don't want to do the math, but I'm interested to see how many more hours on average it would take someone to max with this change and the new meta behind certain things like what farming, prayer, herb lore, rune crafting hasn't been changed really. I don't think they touched pure essence here. But that, there's a lot of skills that are going to be affected by this. And obviously, I know I compare everything back to Iron Man. That's just because that's what I play. But this is, this is a big change for mains as well. Though I think it's a little bit less important for mains because the new meta for money making is raids anyways. Now besides that, here's the other big change that comes from this, or the one that I see the most significant. The Serpentine Helm has been completely nerfed here as well. So basically what this says is it no longer venoms the target or poisons them if it was like a boss. And the strength bonus has been dropped from +5 to +3. So essentially the SERP Helm just became the Nezzy Helm with slightly better defensive stats and no prey bonus. Though I guess you could kind of say that it does have one more effect. It still allows you to keep from getting anti-poison or from getting poisoned, I guess. Or venom if you're at Zora, but it no longer dishes out venom itself, which really changes the whole feel behind SERP Helm. I mean, I honestly want to rename this thing to the Anti-Poison Helm because Serpentine Helm feels like it's compensating a little bit too much. And then on top of that, the Void range set has been nerfed as well from a 20% damage boost down to a 10%. They felt like it was way too overpowered, which it was stronger than the other two versions of Void, definitely. But that's another massive change. So basically, if you have a pure that used to use Void, range of Void pure, you are screwed. And if you have a 75 defense account to PK on, you're probably screwed as well, because you probably got 75 defense to use a SERP Helm. Now, honestly, I don't really know how I want to feel about the changes yet. The drop table nerf probably needed to happen, but it really probably needed to happen 2 years ago, not in 2017. It kind of feels like got the nightmare zoning that was changed 2 years late, and everyone had already had a really good chance to take advantage of it, but new characters were really disenfranchised from it. I don't know if that's the right term. Maybe disadvantaged? That would probably be a better term. But basically, if you are a main account, you're probably going to do raids for money anyways, so this won't affect you too much. It will affect the Zora bots. There are those things out there. Is it really going to have a big impact on people that fish sharks? Honestly, I guess it will over time, but for now, probably not. But really, the big change is to Iron Man. If you're an Iron Man that has already done your Zora kills, you are miles ahead of everyone else now. If you're a hardcore Iron Man that's done your Zora kills, like Osiris, who just finished his whole Zora grind at 3380 kills, you are miles ahead. I think this basically locked in Osiris for the rank 1 Iron Man title, or hardcore Iron Man title. I think he's going to be the first one to max because he's done with Zora now. In his eyes, at least, from what he wants to go for. And no one else is even close to him. But this probably added on, 100 or 200 hours to max from another Iron Man that hasn't done the grind already. So that's a pretty big deal, and things are going to have to be shifted around now and change how people approach maxing. Now, should you be maxing from just one boss anyways? Probably not. So like I said, it's probably a good thing for the overall health of the game, but I guess we'll see how it works out. However, the big impact for me personally on Fauxcus is the Venom change. Because Zilyana and Bandos are going to be insanely hard for me now. Basically, I've been putting off Zilyana to get the SERP Helm and the Blowpipe out of the way. Well, I got my SERP Helm, or rather, I got my Anti-Venom helmet. It's not really much of a SERP Helm anymore, but I don't have the Blowpipe yet, so I haven't done Zilyana yet. The reason you want to use that there is it venoms the minions, or used to venom the minions, for there and for Bandos, so by the time you're done with the boss, the minions are almost dead, so you take a lot less damage. You can get the kills done quicker. All in all, because you're taking less damage and your trips last longer, so you have a better chance of getting loot. Well, now it's probably going to take me twice as long. I think, I'm not good at prey flicking, so at Zilyana, typically with a SERP Helm and a Blowpipe, I get about 14 or 15 kills a trip. Without it, I get about 6 or 7. So that's going to make it twice as hard for me, and I'm going to use twice as many supplies now, which sucks. As for Bandos, I don't think it's going to change it too much. I think what I'm going to have to do for Bandos is unlock boss tasks, wait until I get a Grardor task, make it 35 and try to do the whole task with that, and hope that I can kill Grar faster and kind of offset the damage that I would have taken, in that realm instead of using the SERP Helm. And then I just have to prey flick the minions after he's dead because I can't really handle prey flicking them while he's alive. So that's the big change for me. As for you guys, I'm curious to know how this is going to affect your account, or what you think of this update. If you think it was a positive thing for the health of the game, or if you're just pissed off that this came 2.5 years too late. Let me know in the comments, guys, and I'll see you guys